Hello, my name is Roxanne Gadd. As you can see, I am digging my leeks, which I will be putting in my dish that I am making later. There's one. And there's two. I'd like to be considered for River Cottage Rising Star 2013 scheme because I feel that I have the skills, the passion and the enthusiasm that is needed for this scheme. I have had a passion for baking since I was young, from about 5 years old, and I have been cooking ever since. I have helped my mum do catering for parties for family and friends. Most recently, I have helped her do the catering for my sister's wedding. I've also made my sister's wedding cake, which was 4-tier. The bottom 2 was fruit cake, and then 1 marble and a sponge. These are the photos of the wedding cake and the food. This is a picture of me decorating the top tier of the wedding cake. This is the finishing product of the 4-tier wedding cake at the reception. And this picture is of the food that I helped my mum to make for the buffet at the wedding reception. I'm going to show you how to make a simple sweet and sour chicken stir fry for my family. For this, I have used local produce as it is more sustainable and it has low food miles. Also, as you saw earlier, I grow my own fruit and veg, so I'll be using my leeks that I digged up earlier. I grow my own fruit and veg because it's cheaper and you know how it's been grown. At River Cottage, I know you like to grow your own fruit and vegetables and use it in the preparation of your meals in your canteen and restaurant. So, as you can see, this is the chicken breast that I'm going to be using for the stir fry. I purchased this from my local butcher's this morning. So, now I'm going to start preparing the chicken. I'm going to be cutting it into small cubes so it cooks quicker. And then, after I have cut this chicken into cubes, I will then be placing it into the saucepan, wok, should I say, which has got oil in there at the moment, warming up. So when I put the chicken in, it will start cooking it straight away. But when I have finished this and put it into the wok, I will then place the chopping board and the knife to one side, and I will not be using it to cut any of my other vegetables up because of the bacteria from the chicken, which will then be cross-contaminated with the vegetables and could cause you being ill. So you should never do that. You should always use a different chopping board when you chop meat and then you chop veg. Some chicken is hard, so you might want to use a sharp knife, but remember not to put your fingers right under the blade so you cut yourself. Right, now this is all chopped, I'm now going to place it into the frying pan with the fat. As you can hear, the fat is sizzling, which means it's warm enough. And now I will place the chopping board to one side and go wash my hands. All the ingredients that you're going to see now is from a local farm shop, except my leek, which of course is from my allotment. This bowl here is for all the vegetable waste, which I will not be putting in my stir fry. And then after that, that will go on my compost heap so it can rot down and I can then use for this year's vegetables for them to grow. Now I'm going to prep my vegetables, starting with my onion. I'm going to chop it in small slices so it cooks quicker in the pan with all the other vegetables. But make sure you grip onto the onion tightly so it doesn't go flying across the chopping board, and that you don't cut yourself with the knife. And then if it comes to the end bit and you can't grip onto it, just chop it in half. I'm going to place it on the plate where I'm going to put all the other veg. So then once it's all chopped up, I can put it in the stir fry. I will now move on to my leek, which you saw earlier me digging it up from my allotment. I will put the waste in the bowl, and I will also chop it up very smallly into small pieces. But remember, before you do this, wash your leek so you don't have any mud in the dish you're making. Right, now that is done, I'm going to put that on the plate with the onion. I will now move on to the cabbage. First, take the stumpy bit of the cabbage out, because you don't want that in your stir fry, as it will be very chewy. And then put the cabbage leaves together and then shred it into finely shredded pieces, so it will cook quicker and it looks better because it's more stringy and adds more texture to the stir fry. But be careful that you don't chop your fingers whilst cutting the cabbage. Now I will place that with the other veg on the plate. And now I will move on to the pepper. So, chop the pepper into bits, and then make sure you get the inside of the pepper out, because you don't really want to be eating the seeds in your dish. And then place it face down and do the claw grip, and also put it in finely strips, roughly the same size, but it doesn't really matter if it's not. And then some of it might be a bit long, so just chop it in half so you don't have big pieces. and then put it on the plate with your other vegetables. Then I will now be cutting the broccoli into pieces, but you don't of course want it too big because it will take longer to cook, so don't do it in too big pieces. But remember, take this big stump of the broccoli off first because you don't want big stumpy pieces in the stir fry. Then place that on the plate with the other veg. And now let's move on to the mushrooms. Some people take the skin off the mushrooms, but I just wash them with water and then keep the skin on and the stalk on, because then you don't waste any of the mushroom. And then chop it up into pieces. Also, by leaving the skin and the stalks on, it contains the full nutrients of the mushroom, so you still have all the nutrients. And then place that on the plate if you have room. If not, just put it on top of the other vegetables. And now I'll be moving on to my last veg, which of course is carrot. First, top and tail the carrot. And then, using this tool, take off the skin of the carrot. By using this tool, it only takes the skin off and none of the carrot, so the carrot still contains its full nutrients. And then place the skin into the waste bowl. And then chop the carrot in half, and then in half again, and then into little strips like you did with the other veg. But make sure you have a sharp enough knife, as carrots are a bit hard to cut sometimes. But make sure you grip it properly, because otherwise you'll get your fingers. And let's do the same with this carrot. Chop it in half, then half again, and into strips. Ooh. Like that, and place it on the plate. And into strips again. And let me just stir my chicken so it doesn't stick to the pan. As you can see, the chicken is cooking nicely, but it is not yet ready for the vegetables to be added, as you can still see the pink of the chicken. So I will leave that for a bit longer until it is cooked all the way through and every piece is cooked before I add the other vegetables in. Oh, hello again. Now I'm going to add the onion, leek and broccoli to the chicken, as the chicken is now cooked through the middle, and the veg I'll be adding now takes the longest. So I will add that to the chicken. Onion, some broccoli, and leek, And now I will just give that a quick stir around. And now I will add some mixed herbs and garlic to the stir fry to add flavour, as people do like their food to be flavoured, as they don't like it bland. That's the mixed herbs done, and now the garlic. I will now use a knife to scrape the garlic into the stir fry. And now I'll give it a stir around to make sure that it's all combined and the garlic and mixed herbs are mixed around nicely and evenly proportioned. I will now add the other veg to the stir fry. Right, the carrots. Look at that nice colour into that dish now. And now some mushrooms. Looks so nice. Can't wait to eat this. And now some pepper for some more colour to the dish. And finally I will add some cabbage. And then I will stir it around quickly and wait for this to simmer down a little bit, and then I will add the rest of the vegetables on the plate. And whilst this is cooking, I will then make the sweet and sour sauce that I will later add into the stir fry. Right, now I'm going to make the sweet and sour sauce for the stir fry. First, I'll need 1/3 of a cup of rice vinegar. I will use my measuring cups to make it accurate. There we go. Put that to one side, put the lid on that so I don't knock it over. And now I will need 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. One. 2. 3. 4. Now I will need 1 tablespoon of ketchup. And add that in. Now I will need 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. I will now turn the saucepan on and I will now let this boil and then add the rest of the ingredients into that. Now let me give the stir fry a quick stir. Look how nice that looks. going to finish off making the sweet and sour sauce. I will measure 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and put it in the dish. I will then add 4 teaspoons of water into the cornstarch. 2, 3, 4. I will now stir that together like this. Now that is mixed together, I will add it to the sweet and sour sauce to make it thicken, so it won't be a runny sauce, it will be a thickened sauce. I will now wait for a few minutes until it starts thickening up, and I will then add it to the stir fry and mix it together. That smells so nice. As you can see, the colour of the sweet and sour sauce is changing as it is starting to thicken up, thanks to the cornstarch. Nearly ready to add into the stir fry. Right, I will now turn the sweet and sour off, go over to the stir fry and pour it in. I will then stir the stir fry. As you can see, the vegetables are already absorbing the sweet and sour sauce. I will wait for a few minutes now until it's all combined together with the sweet and sour sauce. Right, I believe this is now ready. Yep. So, I will now plate up my finishing product. Right, let's make sure we have a variety of all the different veg inside the product. It looks and smells delicious. Can't wait to try it. Add some carrots. Make sure I have some peppers, that's included. Let me add a bit more chicken and some mushrooms. The aroma is making me feel hungry. Well, thank you for taking your time to watch my video. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have enjoyed making it for you today. And thank you again for watching my video.